You can just check anything, Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube.
Do what?
See.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there goes Kevin.
Kevin,
Yeah,
we lost your camera.
you're good. I was
Okay.
just making sure it was on the YouTube.
Or did you turn off the light?
But ching.
All right. We'll officially start once we get Kevin's camera back. There you go.
I didn't see anything on YouTube, but normally it'll send me a notification.
Okay. Yeah, it says we're online. We'll go with it.
It may be a lag.
Yeah, most of this I'm gonna start recording too, just in case. All right, we're gonna start the audio now. Okay.
Right now.
Go for it.
You better get out of here, honky.
Now for something completely different.
Well, two honks and Kim just messing around. You'll never know what they talk about on two honks. Two honks and Kevin. You might hear something about the NBA. Maybe they'll just make your day on two honks and Kevin. It's sports and life and family too. Let's all listen to two honks and a Kevin. Yeehaw! I just crapped my pants.
All right. It is August 19th. Yeah, so I think Blake, does your dad know that the entire world can see him? Is he okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just want to make sure. He
Yeah.
knows he's in camera.
Yep.
How's it going?
Good, man.
Good.
We had my parents over for dinner, and
Yes.
I said I was getting ready to do the podcast, and told him to come out here. So
Oh,
you know,
good.
He may have
Right
something
on.
to say. Who knows?
Oh man, words of wisdom.
Oh, well, I mean, if you've heard what come out of my mouth, then
Well,
you know I wasn't raised too well.
oh
I'm just
no.
kidding.
Right on.
I just take it as you being one of those kids that does the complete opposite of what his father says.
I was a better kid than you, right? Yes. You want to go? You have plenty of stories. Go ahead, Dad. The mic's yours. They have.
Why don't you introduce your dad first?
This is my dad, Daryl Derringer Jr. He's a pretty good guy, man. I got lucky. I got a good dad. So,
Good.
yeah, we had him over for dinner, and like I said, I figured he could jump on with us. We never know what we're going to talk about. We never know what we're going to talk about, anyways.
Right.
Right.
So, yeah.
Get a few golf balls.
Yeah, we went. I had to drop Ella off for swim, and we went over to Dakota Landing, and I hit some golf balls, and he's still coaching me after all these years, so he was giving me some pointers,
Well, good.
which
Right
always helps. Yeah, yeah, man.
What'd you make your parents for dinner?
We had pork chops,
Oh.
some potatoes,
Mm.
corn,
Man.
some croissant rolls. Yeah, man,
All
it was
right.
legit. Yeah,
Treat
we
your
ate it in
parents
like 10 minutes, and then we had to
Right.
You gotta smash through,
had to take Ella to swim. So
Did you use paper plates?
no, man, you're eating a pork chop, bro.
Yeah, you
ain't
gotta
using
cut the
paper
pork chop.
plate.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Now we grew up. Pork chops was a finger food, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Pork chops was on the right.
Fork and a knife.
Right.
Now, do you
That's
eat
one of my top favorite meals at my house was pork chops.
Do you eat boneless
Really?
pork chops or bone in?
Yeah.
Oh, bone in.
Yeah, got to get that
Oh,
fatty.
yeah.
Fatty.
Oh, yeah,
area.
I didn't even know there was such thing as boneless pork chops until I was an adult.
Oh yeah, I know. Me too.
Yeah. We always got the bone in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you had to buy it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, what is this? But they do taste a lot better with the bone in though. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
that's classic right there.
Especially right there around the bone, man. You get that tender meat. Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fatty meat.
Smash.
Yeah, the fat. Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. That's why it's so
Yeah,
good.
well, it's good, whatever it is.
Oh,
Right on.
so I do have kind of a subject to bring up. It's kind of a downer subject, but I wanted to talk about it anyways because I feel like, well, we talk about everything else under the sun. So let's have this quick conversation. It doesn't have to be long because I'm sure we want to get to the NBA.
So everyone can stop listening.
Right, yeah. So so this week I went into work. Like I said, this is a downer conversation. So I just want to warn you guys right now.
All right, go for it.
So this week I went into work, and I'm working, and I'm usually, I try to be kind of happy at work. So I'm like, it could be worse. So I'm kind of walking around doing my thing, and I hear someone say something about walking next to someone's office, and like I don't know exactly what he said. I don't want to speak out of turn, but it kind of gave me like a weird feeling. So I turned around and I said, what did you say? And I said, I had to walk by this guy's. I'm not going to say his name out of respect, but he said I had to walk by this guy's office. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then he told me that the guy had died like over the weekend.
No
like
way.
I had no idea that the guy had died. And it was one of those things where like I didn't know him like super well, but well enough to like have conversations with him.
Right.
And of course, since COVID came, he went to go work from home, so I hadn't been able to talk to him for several months. So, and we had decent conversations, because he was a church man, and he, would talk to me about his kids and his son. One of his sons had just gone into college, and his son, when I was in there helping him with things, it seemed like his son was always calling him, asking him for advice. And this might be a bad conversation for me to have with your dad here, so I'm sorry.
You're good.
But yeah,
It's life.
Yeah. So it's like I felt
He's already told me he's on his last lap. So
I'm in the fourth quarter of life, hoping for overtime.
That's what he was.
There you go.
hoping for that last second
There you
field
go.
goal.
I'm looking for
He's
triple
hoping for
overtime.
Dame time.
Yeah.
Anytime.
So I guess we had someone told me the gentleman went to sleep Friday and just didn't wake up, and he was like 61.
Isn't that crazy? Was it a heart attack or anything, or do they not know?
I was told it was a brain aneurysm. In
Wow.
his sleep, and that's one of those ones though that's like there's no amount of running or cardio you could do to run away from a brain aneurysm, because once there's just nothing you can do about those, because apparently you have them anyways and you just don't know it sometimes, and most of them just aren't lethal. So
that's how Nika lost her grandpa.
oh really?
He had a brain aneurysm. At least that's what they think.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of
because
those things where
someone-
they're not sure. They could tell it's not a heart attack, and they could tell this and that, but
Right.
someone doesn't wake
Yeah.
up, they're 61, it's not a heart attack. He didn't have any, diseases. That's
It's just, I mean, whenever you hear those, I got another story. It's sad too, which I could tell, but it's just whenever you hear those stories, though, it's so crazy. I actually said this to a guy at work the other day. I go, isn't it kind of weird that we're not more fearful of death?
yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I've got plans tomorrow. Like, I'm going to do something tomorrow, right? But it's like, I also could not wake up tomorrow. It's like,
Right.
it's such a wild reality.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you got to keep busy living, so you don't think about it. It's just
Right.
one of the things, and I had a friend who's had a sibling passed away, and he said one of the things that hit him was that they looked at her phone and seen like on her calendar, all the things she was going to do, and she just lay down for a nap, and
all the
that was it.
notifications.
Yeah, and so you're right. It's exactly right, and I just it's one of those things where you kind of realize that part of your life is over. Like, you're never going to have those conversations with them. You're never going to talk to the guy about his sons again, or about his faith, or just anything. So it's like, and I don't want to make it about me, because the guy, I feel awful for the guy's
I get you.
wife and kids. But it's like, it's also the other thing is like, I really don't know what to say to anybody about when anything like that happens. It's just, it happens, and you express, try to express your sympathies, but there's just nothing you can do to make anybody feel better about the situation.
Feel better. Right.
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 And I'm one of those people that, if something bad happens, I try to make somebody happier, whether it be with a joke or with, something happens with my kids. Maybe I'll go buy them like a small toy or a present or something, But with this, it's like there's nothing you can do to make it better. So, and that really kind of where I'm like, I'm stuck in that situation of like I can't do the thing that I normally would do because you sure as heck can't make a joke about it and make people laugh, So,
Yeah.
you can't do that. So it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, well,
It just puts a totally different vibe in the environment, and I'm assuming that's what you're kind of getting at. It's just like
yeah, at work and everything because
it's hard to have a good time at work right now when
I
the
feel
obvious is
guilty.
happening.
Yeah, you kind of feel guilty too having a good time, right? I mean, you kind of
Yeah.
feel like
Right,
you're living
right.
your life and having the laugh and all that, and then a couple minutes later it hits you like, oh man,
Yeah.
this, and a couple weeks down the road, the thought will come to your head less and less, but still,
Yeah.
it's like so. I guess my thing is the whole reason why I bring it up. I just kind of wanted to bring it in a conversational piece of like, if. And I'm sure this has happened to you guys where just a coworker that you're not super friends with, has
Right.
passed away and, just kind of want to get your guys' thoughts and, how you guys process it.
Go ahead,
I
Kevin.
absolutely suck when it comes to death. Like dealing with it. Like I'll be straight up honest with you guys. I suck at it. I'm kind of in the same thing with Richard. Like, hey, I don't know what to say. Like I'm trying to like I feel bad and I'm sorry, but like it's just like that. The only thing that can heal it for anybody is like time, right? Like you're weirded out and all this, but I absolutely suck when it comes to dealing with death. Like I don't like funerals. I don't even like talking about it. If I have to attend a funeral, I will not go up and look at the body. I don't care who it was.
Mhm.
So I mean, and
Tell
I
me.
think that's
Oh,
because
Dad.
I think it's because more of I haven't lost anyone close enough to actually like know how to deal like I'm like fingers crossed I'm lucky at that fact that I
Dude,
like
how about a great?
I don't ever know how I would deal with it. Like
So
seriously.
have you lost a grandparent that you're close to, or a friend? Or,
My grandparents were I was adopted by my parents are way older, right? So like my dad was born in '39, so when my grandparents passed, I wasn't even here.
Say that
So,
again, Kevin. Sorry. What would
So
you just say, Kevin?
I said when my grandparents passed away, I wasn't even here.
Oh,
So
okay.
the closest person I ever lost to me was like my friend lost his mom, and like that was him losing her. So it was just like comforting him
Mhm.
more than anything. But hi, Nika.
Get everybody on here. Come on out,
Right.
Mom.
But
We're
I've
having fun.
never.
Oh snap!
I mean,
Look. Hold on. Can you guys see
oh,
that?
we're on.
We're on live.
Yeah, Facebook. Yeah,
Right on.
I just linked
Facebook.
it. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Right on.
Robert,
But other than that,
but did you have towels over your shoulders? You always make fun of us. Real
we'll
quick,
get to that. Yeah,
real quick. I'll tell a funny
towel story.
Yeah. So, we always growing up, like whenever it was time to grab something to eat or whatever, you just throw a dish towel over your shoulder, a drying towel over your shoulder, and that's just what you use for a napkin, right?
Mhm.
And I never thought anything of it until Robbie came over one time, and I had my towel over my shoulder. Is my buddy Robbie Holt, and he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What? Y'all don't just throw a towel over your shoulder and just use that for a napkin instead of paper towels?" He's like, "No."
You
But it
just
was like
don't
the first
take a
time
whole
I-
shower after eating.
Yeah, yeah. It was like the first time that like I realized that like, oh, this isn't just what you do, you know.
Right. Awesome.
So, anyways, what were you saying before that though, Kevin?
Well, I just like I haven't lost anybody close to me, so
Right.
I don't really know how to deal
It's,
with
I mean,
that.
I don't think there is a way you deal with it. I mean, you just show people love. That's all you can do. You just show
Right.
people love. You obviously ask if they need anything. I mean, they're going to hear 100,000 times, if you need anything, just let us know, but
Right.
maybe it is bringing them food, like, cause they're not going to ask you, or sending them a gift card to go out to eat. There's always little things it doesn't have to be money. It can just be coming by on a random Thursday. And, I don't know. I mean, it's tough when it's a
Just be there to
coworker and you
talk,
don't
yeah.
really know them that well. But
Right.
Richard, have you ever lost anyone close to you?
I mean, I've lost grandparents.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just it's one of those things too where I'm very mentally like you mentally in your head, you're kind of wondering like if you're reacting correctly. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to come off as like a monster. Like, you don't want to come off as like an evil person. Like, you know, as uncaring, I guess. So it's like, so when you talk to people, and even like in the cases of like grandparents or you know passing away or things like that, where you might look over and see someone completely, absolutely just sobbing, and you are not. So you're like, am I dead inside? Like, I don't, you know, like, of course you have the feelings you're sad and everything, but you're not to that degree.
Well, I don't think you have to feel like, you know, because you maybe don't take it as emotionally as somebody else that, you know, you're dead inside. I mean, everyone's going to react. I mean, people can drive by a dog that got hit by a car and just completely lose it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just because it's just sadness fills them, and then comes tears or whatever. But
Kevin, I'm like you. I probably haven't, except for my dad, my stepdad, and my mom, I haven't gone to the casket in 20 to 25 years. I want to remember that person the last time I seen them.
Right. Right. I totally agree. That's what I do too. Like, I do not want to see that image and burn that image of what I have of that person, because it's just like, to me, it's just like morbid to me just to see them like that. Like, I don't want to remember a person like that.
yeah, I mean, it's just hard all around. I'll tell a quick story just to make this podcast a little bit more depressing. There's a you may not even know this. I probably got to be careful. Well, I was gonna say I got to be careful what I say, but I'm not a celebrity, so I'm probably all right. But there's a family that we know out boating, had 3 kids on tubing. One fell off, and I think I don't know all the details, so bear with me, but you'll get the end of the story. When the guy driving the boat turned around to go get the kid that fell off, there was another kid that fell off that he didn't see, and it was his son's friend. Got cracked in the head by the boat, and apparently I think that was it. I think he got hit and he was done. My wife said that he got stuck underneath the boat, and maybe something happened there. But yeah, maybe the propeller got him. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those. It hit me hard because it's just like, this man who has enough money to have a nice beach, lake house, which they just bought not too long ago. You know, he's got this boat. He's out there. He's having family time. They're enjoying. They're having all these laughs, and then boom, there's a death on his hands, and it's just like, it's just such a tough reality of like, it's an accident, but he just took a 20-year-old dude's life. You know what I'm saying? And just all that joy that comes with that. Those financial blessings, if you want to call them, of having a boat, and just those things that are nice and relaxing that we all, a lot of people inspire to have, and just to see it just become something so painful. It's like, I mean, could you imagine? Like, and what I was like, there was one day I was driving or something, I was, I'm in a good mood or whatever, and then I just started thinking about that family, and I'm just like, just think about, like, my life's going good, like, we're happy, everything's healthy, and yada yada. And then you got this family that's just grieving over something, and not to mention the kid's mom, and apparently she was a single mom, but it just, God, dude, it just sucks. When you hear that stuff, it's just so bad.
Yeah.
You just don't know what life's going to hand you from day to day.
Exactly.
Right. That's why I got the attitude of it, and I was raised this way. Like, just live in the day, because you don't know what happens the next, right? So you don't take anything for granted. You're blessed for that day, and you move on. Like, this is like, you live every day like it's your last, basically.
Yep.
I got a little story, Blake. I don't even know if Blake would remember this or not, but we used to have a cabin down at Lake Lemon, and we'd always take from the low side of the lake down to the beach and drop the moms and the grandmas off and all the kids at the beach. So we're in a bass boat, so we're not flying, but the water was extremely choppy, real choppy. You couldn't even the boat was just bouncing everywhere. So I'm literally sitting on the seat, just trolling down to the beach, and I can't see because the water's so choppy. All of a sudden, This sounds crazy. I know. I hear a voice, turn the boat. And I'm looking for anything. Another voice said, turn the boat now. I turn the boat, and there's a kid on one of those surfboards with the sail,
So
laying there in the water, wore out because he got sucked down the low end. He couldn't even paddle no more, but he was exhausted laying in the water, and I'd have ran right over the top of him. I didn't even see him in the water, and I was looking. But I swear a voice said, turn the boat.
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Yeah,
And
man.
I'd have hit him dead center.
Man.
We can to change this a little bit. I was actually thinking about this the other day. So, Kevin, you may know this, but when I was in high school, my dad actually started racing again. So he can tell you a whole lot more. But Richard, you may know this, but my grandpa raced NASCAR. You know that, yeah. So obviously, my dad grew up around racing and absolutely loves it. But I was just kind of thinking, because how old were you when you started racing?
I was about 48, almost 49.
So think about being 48, 49 years old. You got kid in high school, right? I was junior, senior year, and you just decide to start following your dreams again of racing,
Career change.
right?
Yeah.
And it's not a cheap sport, and we ain't rich,
Right.
You know? So, but
So when you started back, where was it? Where were you racing at?
Man, our main track was Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Okay.
Places like Winchester, Salem, Indiana. We ran most of short tracks in Indiana. Went to Rockford, Illinois, Kilcairn, Ohio, and ran that for about 5 years, 4.5, 5 years. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we used to go to the races all the time. It was fun. But yeah, I mean, I was just thinking the other day just how, like, of course, you know, I'm a young kid and I'm running around and, you know, I didn't have any interest in racing or even working on the vehicles. But, like, you know, now that I have kids and I, you know, see how much work it takes to, you know, just keep the house going and all that stuff. Of course, we were older at the time, but still. But, like, just him putting that effort in, you know, going into the garage and working on his own truck, you know, getting some buddies that know enough about vehicles that can help him go from city to city and not make any money. And like, it just, I don't know. It was just cool to think about how he did really. I know he thinks about it all the time where he wishes he made it into NASCAR, into the big league, but I don't know. I mean, I've told him before, like, I still think it's cool that, like, he did what he did, even, you know, even at the older age, just like, you know what, like, I'm still going to do this. Like, I'm not going to let age, you know, define me. And, you know, so I don't know. I don't know if I ever told you that, but that's pretty cool too.
That is pretty cool.
So I still think I'm gonna make it to the NBA. So
well,
if you can
look,
there you go.
Yeah.
if you can see my mini hoop, I've been working on my game.
Yeah. I mean, there are so few people in life anyways that get to do, you know, what they truly want to do. So regardless of
Yeah.
age or whatever, you know, making it to NASCAR or whatever, you made it because you did what you wanted to do, and that doesn't happen.
It wasn't the big time by any means, but it was a very, very good series, very competitive series. The same story. We got guys all the way across, all over the country can drive a car.
Mhm.
They just don't have the financial backing or knowing the right people at the right time. But
Right.
it sounds weird, I know, but it ate at me every year. When I was younger, around 21, I tried to race 4 or 5 times in Alabama, and we blew a motor like the third night out. Well, I was done. I mean, we had no money.
What
So-
Right.
was it? The big track in Alabama? Don't they have a big
Now, this was Birmingham, Alabama,
Birmingham? Okay.
which that track is now gone. But no, I did work for Bobby Allison for 3 years, and that way working on cars down there. And I am not a mechanic. I'm one of the worst. I'm just not a mechanic. So
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I was like, okay, so Blake's dad did the racing thing and all that, and Blake was like asking us, hey, how do I change brakes?
yeah.
Yeah. I had my dad to do it. I didn't
There
need
you
to.
go. There you go.
I think the thing that I learned, I was so grateful to get that chance. And without a lot of help of a few buddies, it would have never happened.
So walk me through. I mean, I can't, like, walk me through to when you actually went to mom and was like, "Hey, I'm buying a race truck." Because I mean, it's obviously. I mean, and talk about the expenses. Talk about how much tires were and all that. Because I mean,
Well, it started, I figured I'd never race because of my age and there wasn't a series that we could afford. But they started a series in Indianapolis, around in Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, and it came through town. And I had watched it for 1 year, and I thought, well, I can almost afford that. I could buy
I
the
could get rid
truck.
of my son and his expensive shoe habit.
Sell them. Yeah.
Buying the vehicle is the cheapest thing you can do. Maintaining it's crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right.
You'd spend $500 for a set of tires and maybe get 30 laps out of them. And sometimes we could get 2 to 3 races out of them. But I think it really helped me. I didn't probably realize at the time I was doing exactly what I wanted to do, even though, like I said, it was a lot of good people in that series. First time I raced at Raceway Park, it started 43 trucks.
Mhm.
So, and I started 13th my first race, and we actually finished 5th. So it was a good start, and but then you do well your first night and you expect to do better. I don't think I've gotten the top 10 the rest of the season. So, but no, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of good people behind you to make that happen. And without the guys that were behind me, I could have never done it.
Yeah, that went. That's a lot of work for a hobby. How much does it? I mean, like you bought the truck, like so every week you were maintaining it, right? Just putting that money in. How was the wife feeling about that?
Well, I tell you what, Rita jumped on board. She was our number one fan, and we were been our third year. I think we finished third in the points our third year. I was few seconds, few thirds, never got a win at Raceway Park, and then we were running third or fourth in the points, and I blew a motor coming up out of 2 one night. Coasted back to the pits, and I'm talking to myself all the way down the backstretch, going, "Well, that's it. We're done. We're over. It's over with because that's big money for us."
Mhm.
So
Right.
Rita got back home later. She goes, "Still got our vacation money. We'll put it towards the race car."
Whoa.
It's a good woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been sleeping on the couch ever since, but she's a good woman.
she'll bring it up in argument, but yeah.
That's right. You remember that time?
Yeah.
Hey, I want to tell a story about Blake now that he's old and he's got his own kid. He's working on things. I'm literally pulling the rear end out of my truck, race truck, by myself. He walks by. I'm jacking it up because it was easier to pull the rear end out than it was to change all the gears at the time.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Hey, could you look? I'm going to play ball, Dad. Going to play ball. See you later." Here I am trying to jerk a rear end out.
I don't believe this story at all.
Here he goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll
I
tell
believe
you.
that
I did.
I'm
story.
pretty sure if you said, "Hey, son, I need your help," I probably would have helped him. But whatever.
Not
He
when it
likes
comes to
that story.
basketball. No. Not when
No, yeah. I mean, hey, ball's life. So
Right.
I'll be right back, Dad. I gotta go hoop on these dudes real quick.
Right.
Exactly.
Yup. So yeah, man. So there you go. Chase your dreams at the age of almost 50.
That's right.
Right. I want to bring up, I've heard a lot about, and I've heard it's all compliments about how Blake compliments you so much about your support. Blake, you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I just, I mean, we've talked about family relations here and stuff. And I mean, you know how it is, especially when you have kids, you realize how lucky you are to have had good parents. Now, because like a kid doesn't choose his parents, right? So like there's so many kids out there that's been, I mean, Richard has talked about some crazy stuff that's happened to him. And fortunate, and when I hear those stories, I go, wow, I'm like so fortunate to not have, mom smashed a banana in my head.
Yep.
Still love that story, by the way. But he was like, "Mom, I want a banana split," and she's like, "No, I'm just kidding."
I was just eating my Cheerios. I don't know what was going on.
Right. No, I mean, I watched him coach my nephew the other day. he's helping coach baseball, and just to see him out there still coaching and helping and loving on kids and stuff. I don't know, man. I'm thankful that I had that. I'm thankful that I'm able to do that now to my kids or even other kids. And you get older, you get thankful. I mean, I know I've said it to him, but it's cool to have it recorded now, I guess. But so
It's on record.
yeah, it's on record. Yeah, so it's just I mean you can tell his dad raced, so he had a good relationship with his dad, but I don't think it was obviously as close as we are. And the one thing that he always says is that he wishes he made it to NASCAR, and I always say I'm glad you didn't, because we probably wouldn't have the relationship we have. So not saying that he wouldn't have put towards the effort, but it's hard when you're chasing a dream, and you see these athletes that are stuck in a bubble right now, to for their job. It's hard to be there for your kid, and they got practice or whatever. So
Right.
So I'm sure he can tell you how great of a kid I was too. So I made it pretty easy on
Yes,
him.
Janae was a great kid.
Janae, my sister. I'll tell you what. If there was no Janae, I would get all the credit.
You get all love.
I'll tell you a little thing. I'll tell you a little thing me and my sister do, and the whole family really. We always joke about our inheritance. So anytime they get something new, we start dividing it up. So for example, they got a new refrigerator a couple years ago. So now the joke is I'm getting the bottom half, or Nika and Janae's getting the top half. Like we're splitting the refrigerator or whatever. So the ice cream's in the freezer. So that's why I wanted the bottom
choice.
half. So,
Good choice.
That's all they're getting.
yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's it.
Well, that will help the refrigerator behind Blake that's leaking, and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right over here. It's-
And,
Yeah.
Robbie keeps telling him the part number, and he won't fix it.
No, I fixed it. Now there's a new
Did you
leak.
really?
I just there's a new leak I noticed the other day, so I got to figure that one out. But that my God, that thing's probably 30 years old. Who knows?
It's doing its job. It's in the garage anyway.
That's
It's all
right.
good.
It's keeping it cold.
Yeah, exactly.
How was
I think to your question there, a few things. I mean, first of all, you got to have a good woman, and Rita's one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
So
That's a fact.
with her bringing the kids up through church, and us doing a lot of coaching along the way, we started Blake at 5, and Janae unfortunately got hurt the very first week. Somebody threw a softball and hit her in the eye, and I mean it was nasty. So that kind of eliminated her. She didn't want to play for a while. But going to church, Rita with the kids in church, us with coaching, and somehow through the years our house became the house. We didn't plan it. It was just the house. And it didn't matter. You come in, you respect what I have, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
So
And that's kind of how our house has become too, which I like. It's just kind of cool to have, the kids want to come to, Uncle Blake and Aunt Nika's. God, I sound old when I say that. Man.
I see the gray hair. That's cool.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's looking
we see the
good.
gray. You're not hiding.
No, I ain't behind it. So, yeah.
just an example, I worked for DHL, but to get a day route, you had to go nights first. So I was on nights for 3 years, and I finally got a route in where my house lives, so I go home for lunch. Well, I go turning down the street there, and I'm like, wow, somebody's having a party. It's like 6:30, 7 o'clock. Well, I get down the street. Well, it's my house. There's cars everywhere. We had a volleyball net out back. There must have been 35, 40 kids. I walk in. Rita's got 2 big pots of chili going. I come in. We make something like 45 grilled cheese sandwiches. And that's just the way it was. You know what I mean? We just,
Yeah.
so. But,
Yeah.
Good times. Kevin, I don't know if you remember. Kevin, do you remember I don't think you ever showed up. Do you remember or even hearing about us boxing in my front yard before like football games and stuff?
So I think I did it like maybe one time.
Really?
I don't think it was you guys. Yeah, I don't think it was you guys. Like it was like I don't know. Yeah,
I remember
heard
doing
about it.
I remember doing it with Mark Richardson once. Little
There you
Mark, he was a little wrestler, Richard. But anyways,
Yeah.
and then he tried to take me down. I was like, nope, I'm good. I'm not gonna let you ground and pound me.
Tap.
Yep.
Yeah, I do remember the backyard boxing scene though.
I can't believe we did that. I was so stupid.
Yeah, I know. It is.
It's like I
it
didn't
is
even
not-
think. I didn't even think I could get hurt. You know.
Right, but that's what you do when you're young. You just
I know.
You do stupid stuff like
I don't know.
you're invincible.
We used to
And
do.
nobody thinks.
We used to do
This guy
backyard.
was stupid.
We used to do backyard wrestling before pay-per-views.
Oh yeah, we did that
Oh.
too.
Get some mats out in the
Yeah.
backyard, just throw each other around.
Can you imagine if we still did that? If we still acted like that?
I'd be broke everywhere, like all my bones.
Instead of throwing darts, we're like, I'm gonna set up a ring in the back, and we're gonna kind of mimic what we think's gonna happen tonight.
I could barely walk down the
Yeah.
stairs without.
I know. Hey, I will say this. So, as you guys know, I still try to play sports all the time, but I've been playing volleyball, and I remember growing up, everybody would tell me, "Man, once you get around 40 years old, like your body just does not react the way it does." And I'm starting to believe it. Like I mean, my leg,
Oh, yeah.
like my calves keep tightening up. I got this cramp in my neck I've had a cramp in my neck since July. I'm actually getting it massaged this weekend. So yeah. So y'all feel. Well, do you guys even work out anymore? Or do you guys just
Yeah,
play?
well, I'm trying to get back into walking and stuff like that, and like I got this story. Like, so I always threaten my daughter, like, because like I used to be good at running, and I'd be like, I can beat you in a race. I can beat you in a race. Once she actually takes the challenge and just like, hey,
It's just
we're gonna do this, like that's gonna be the end of my career right there, because I'm just pull a hammy or something and fall.
Yeah, you're gonna pull something. That's for sure.
Right. But yeah, I'm trying to get back into it, but
It's hard, man.
it's day by day.
It's not fun. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun
it's not.
playing a sport. It's not fun to go run. You know,
Exactly.
it's fun.
Like
to
if I could do like a part-time old people basketball league or something like
YMCA.
that, pickup game. Yeah,
30 and over.
that'd be more enjoyable to me than like, hey, I just want to go run on a treadmill.
No, that's
I don't
boring.
want to. Yeah,
That's boring.
exactly.
So you all been watching the NBA? I'm sure, right? I know you guys have. It's been
Nope,
uh,
not at all.
not at all.
The what?
Yeah.
Golf.
It's Dame time, baby.
Yeah, the Damian Lillard show. Apparently, I'm watching the Pacer game, and the halftime report's all about Damian Lillard. I'm like, there's like 30 other players on those teams you could talk about. Like, you don't.
He's
need
the
to-
only exciting
You don't
thing
need to
going
talk
on
about
right
Damian Lillard the whole halftime show on a Pacer versus Heat game.
now. I know. Well, the Pacers and Heat are boring.
Yeah.
I don't think the Pacers have it.
No, I mean,
Has
there's too
anybody
many-
heard anything about Vic? Like he went out with like a scratched eye or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Because I heard they took him to the hospital, but I haven't heard anything else.
Yeah, I haven't either. I think I actually got a notification earlier saying something that he might be out or day to day or something like that.
He's gonna be if he's even kind of hurt, he's done. Like he's not. Why?
I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah.
I mean, he does not look like Oladipo right now.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I don't even know if I think he really wants to play. So I don't know. Let's get our what are your impressions on each series? Like we just talked about the Pacers and Heat. What about Bucks Magic?
It's crazy that the Bucks lost that first game, but
They'll still win the series. I mean that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that lower seed will pull off a surprising win out of nowhere. But I think that I think the Bucks are going to win the series. There's no question.
there's got to be an upset though. There's got to be an upset.
Yeah.
And Boston destroyed 76ers
The Sixers.
tonight. So,
I mean, that
yeah.
team's done anyways. I mean, Simmons out. I mean, they have 2 star players that are constantly hurt.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And I think they're at a crossroads right now. Like that coach is not coming back, and they're gonna have to decide what team do they want. They want an Embiid team or a Ben Simmons team, and build around that.
I feel like you can't build around either one of them because both of them are constantly hurt. Like they're just.
Yeah.
Embiid's been a little bit better this year, but you know.
But he doesn't
God,
play
dude,
in
they're
back to
that
backs.
big.
Like he can't medically. He cannot play in back to backs.
I know.
Right.
So
That's great.
How do you build around that? You really can't.
But I mean, is that a good enough talent though to where it's like, hey, even if we can't play you on back to backs, like you're still you're so valuable when you're out there. I don't.
I don't think so because their investment on him has been
Mhm.
like, what is it? This is like his 7th year. He didn't play like the first year and a half.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think
So like,
Zion might be the same way.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
yes, he
Tor-
will.
Toronto and Brooklyn, that's done. Raptors are gonna win that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Van Fleet
let's go
really
to the
showed
West.
up.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right now I'm watching Dallas and the Clippers. My
Yeah.
impression on that so far is like, so the Mavericks are winning right now, right? They can't guard Luka right now.
No one
And
can.
Game 1, they had the technical foul issue. Like I really think Dallas can hang in this series.
Well, they probably would have won game 1 if not for those technical fouls.
Exactly.
Luka is that kid that you play with in the gym that just runs up and down the court as quick as possible and gets those stupid, ridiculous layups and scores like 40 points
he's
because of
annoying.
it.
But like, I'll watch Luka, and I'm like, what makes him so good? But I think we said
Yeah,
it.
I was just
Go
gonna say that. Like he's the kid that it's like, why is he so good? He's not stronger than everybody. He's not faster than anybody.
He's so
He doesn't
smooth.
shoot
Here.
better than anybody.
He's
I
so
think
He's
smooth.
that good.
He's smart. He picks his spots.
Yeah.
Like he knows. He just waits. He just waits. He sees the floor really well. I love watching him play. But yeah, there are times where I'm like, why is he so good? What makes him so good?
Right.
Yeah, he's a hooper, and he's young too, man. So
Was he 20 now?
20.
yeah, I think so. 20 or
21.
21, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just turned the game on. Yeah. So yeah, man, NBA's been good though. I'm happy that the games have been close and all that.
Yeah.
All right. Denver and Utah are knotted up. I can see that being just a roller coaster series.
That could go
Yeah.
7 games
That could-
easily.
That could go both ways for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I think
Rockets and the
the City,
Thunder.
Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Harden just mashed the gas on them the other night.
It's a bad dude. That's Richard's favorite player.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that is what you. And then the one everybody's talking about, the Blazers and the Lakers.
Lakers are
Dude,
still going to
I-
win that series.
I think the Blazers are winning that series too.
It's going to go 7
But
games.
I mean, it's no surprise to like us, like the NBA fans. Like it's no surprise because we said this before, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
the Lakers' worst problem is they have a depth issue. Like, and I think it was last night. You could see that nobody else can hit,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
AD and LeBron don't know what else to do or who to pass it to. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Well, LeBron
What
only
do you
scored
do?
24 points.
yeah.
But
But he had 24
15
points,
assists.
but he had like, 15 assists and 17 rebounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean LeBron is.
But
I mean,
that's my point. Like
he's
LeBron
so
just needs to take the game over. Like I mean, I think that's been his problem the whole time. Even in Cleveland, is like stop passing the ball. Like just you're the best on the court. Just take over. Like I don't understand why he doesn't do that more often. Like we've seen him.
you just
do
want
it
to see him
before.
shoot more.
Yeah, I
just
just
wanna
want to. Just bulldoze over people, dunk on people. Do
But
do what Jordan did. Like when you know your team's in trouble, take over.
Yeah,
But look at the efficiency. Like, what's the difference between him scoring 50 points and him scoring 24 points and having 15 assists? Like, he's still getting
Yeah.
players involved. You get what I'm saying? He's still
He is, but
accounting for half of the points.
in some instances. But how many times is he passing and the person not scoring? Like what's the ratio that we're getting
Yeah, that's
there?
true. Yeah,
Um,
I would have to look that up.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. I think as a leader, like I appreciate the fact that he passes the ball. Like I can appreciate that, but now's not the time. Like I just feel like if he were to be a bit more aggressive, I think the Lakers would stand a better chance.
yeah. I mean, we talk about all the fouls that they call. I think especially with the way people take charges, like it's so hard to drive down the lane anymore. And maybe that's some of LeBron's thing. It's like, dude, I'd like to penetrate and kick out, but every time I do, somebody slides right in front of me, and then it's a charge. It's like I feel like that the inside part of that game has just changed so much
Yeah,
because of that. I mean, I felt like in the 90s, it was hard to get a charge. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like you got to really run somebody over to get a charge, and now it's like you just two guys run together and flop and go the opposite way, and they just go Like I don't even know who to call it on.
Yeah,
But
they at least call 3 charges a game now.
exactly, or a
At
quarter.
least.
Yeah,
I do like how chippy has been in some games though. Like
How
it has
what?
that old school. How chippy it's been. Like
yeah.
Going back and
certain
forth.
certain games, they're letting them play and like bang each other, unless you're playing against Harden. Unless you're playing against Harden.
Yeah. Yeah, but you see, Charles Barkley said he's the best one-on-one player ever.
Yeah, I heard that.
I mean, I can't
He's
argue.
one. He's one of the smartest players ever. Like I would say, smartest. You get what I'm saying? Like he's smart.
I mean,
he's good because he's so smart.
Yeah,
He does things to change the game.
yeah. Well, I mean, we were talking about it on text, and I think we were kind of criticizing him for the way he manipulates, the rules and finds ways to get fouls. But like I kind of said on text, like there's part of me that just says, "Hey, good for you, dude! Like you kind of found a new way to score in the NBA. And now everybody's mimicking him. So I mean, they're
Right.
doing what he's doing. So it's just
Right.
the way the game evolves.
I know, but the entertainment value is just like if you watch
Yeah.
the Rockets game, it's going to be slow. Like I'm not going to invest my time in that.
Well,
It's
no,
just
they'll
gonna
be
slow,
fast.
and you're going to see. Yeah, you're just going to see like 20 free throw attempts by Harden, and that's it.
Yeah, it's just the flopping.
That's what I don't like. Yeah,
The refs, like, but I always say the flopping is on the refs. Like, you got to know when they're 250-pound men, and like, they barely bump each other and they go flying. It's just like, come on, man. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah, and that's when I told you like I think that's on the league because the league didn't want to tell the refs, hey, we're looking for this.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So I mean, the league has to take charge and be like, hey, guys, we don't want that. We're going to fine people for that, and we're not going to call it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Facts. Anything else going on, boys?
How'd your UFC event go?
Dude, it was great.
Good.
We had fun, didn't we, Kevin?
We did
Is
have
that-
fun.
It was outside. It was a perfect night for it, man. It was good. It was really good fights. We've been playing this game. Kevin won it last week, but you basically, I print out the main card, and you pick who wins. You pick who lands the first punch,
Mm-hmm.
who lands the first kick, who gets the first takedown, and then you pick the outcome of the fight and the round. So for those that don't really know the fighters that well, you still can get points just by who lands the first punch and kick, because that's you don't know that you're just guessing. So anyways, it makes it pretty fun. Just kind of it makes you more engaged in the fights and all that too. So but yeah, man, it was a good time. It was a good fights. I really wanted DC to win. I like Stipe, but just with DC being his last fight, it really stinks that he got poked in the eye, and he said he couldn't see for the last 2 rounds. So
I believe it.
Yeah,
his
it
eye
looked
was
bad. It looked real bad.
Do you really
What,
think
what do
that's
you
his
think
last
about
fight?
the main event, Richard?
Well, about the main event. Yeah. I mean, I pretty much don't mimic what Blake says. I thought it was a good fight, and it's really unfortunate when that happens. But unfortunately, that's part of the sport. They should hopefully do something to prevent. If I recall correctly, there are gloves out there. I think maybe Joe Rogan has talked about it. That will prevent the eye pokes, and there are fighters out there that will purposely hold their hands out like that. To I don't know, to scare the opponent with an eye poke.
I think the issue with the gloves that are out, it's too hard to grapple. It makes it tougher for submissions. So that's the only issue with it. Yes, it does help with the fingers out, but when it comes to locking and stuff,
Gotcha.
it's padded. So it's not good for jiu-jitsu, obviously,
Yeah,
So,
I guess. Yeah, at that point in time, what can you do? I mean, if that's the case,
I
then
know.
it's just gonna have to be part of the sport.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
and it's understandable. I mean, when someone comes at you, first thing you want to do, especially a wrestler, right? You're always like this, So, I mean, and DC is known for poking people in the eye, so it's a little bit of. And he had poked Stipe in the
Yeah, I
eye.
was gonna say
earlier.
I recalled that Stipe poking him in the eye in this fight and in previous fights.
You mean
Yeah, and
DC?
Yeah, DC's
yeah,
poking.
yeah.
Yeah, he has, and it's obviously it's not something he does on purpose, but it happened to him, and
Yeah,
it sucks, So, but it's a fight.
yeah. It's
How do you guys feel without Jones being your light heavyweight champion?
You think about John Jones being the light heavyweight champion?
I'm saying, how do you feel with him not being your light heavyweight champion? He got stripped today, or was it yesterday?
oh, did he?
Did he
stripped?
actually get?
I
Did he
didn't-
actually get stripped?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't
And so
know.
I think Reyes is fighting somebody else for the interim or something.
Why did he get stripped?
Because he said he's moving up to heavyweight. Which I find it funny that he waits till DC retires before he announces he's going to heavyweight.
it was today.
It was today.
Who's-
Okay.
Who's Reyes? Who's Reyes fighting?
Oh wait, he got stripped. Wait. Oh, this was. I don't see anywhere where he got stripped.
Hold on, let me.
Oh, he vacated it. He didn't get stripped of it.
There you go.
Okay, I typed in strip of the belt, but yeah, he vacated it so he can move up. Now, do you think DC moves up for like a super fight against John Jones?
I don't know. That's the thing. I mean, especially if John Jones fights Stipe, well, he should fight the winner of Stipe and Francis Ngannou.
John
Are you
Jones should
kidding?
just immediately get a title shot.
Yeah, he's the greatest
Shouldn't
of
he?
all time. Yeah.
Yeah, he steamed through. I mean, if he wants to do it smart, like I would just get like a tuner fight,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, get like one fight.
I bet he. I
Like
bet
a
he.
like
I bet he-
Werdum or somebody. But I think that he's so great that he should. I think he should be allowed to fight for the title.
They'll give him a title shot, and he probably pieces up Stipe. I think he's gonna be so much faster. Brendan Schaub says
Yeah.
that John Jones used to destroy heavyweights. Like when Brendan and John Jones trained, he was like, dude, like I've seen him destroy heavyweights. he's just
And from the looks of Stipe this last fight, like I feel like John Jones is bigger than Stipe.
he might be. Stipe was
Yeah.
thin. He's like I think he was like 230 or something like that.
Now, when you
Yeah,
go up to heavyweight, is there a weight limit, or is heavyweight just you could be 500 pounds and fight heavyweight?
You have to be above 225,
Yes.
I believe.
Okay, but there's no
Yeah,
max.
about 225,
Okay.
and then I think the cutoff is 275 because Brock
Oh,
used to have to cut the heavyweight, and Roy Nelson cut the heavyweight a couple times.
it's a big dude, Brock.
Yeah,
Roy Nelson's huge,
Yeah.
dude.
yeah.
He just has to
90%
not eat
no.
3 cheeseburgers a day.
He probably does.
And I think
you-
Rumble Johnson cut the heavyweight one time.
cut to heavyweight. You mean went up to heavyweight? Right, yeah.
Oh, cut the heavyweight.
Dude,
yeah.
he used
When
to
he
be.
started juicing, he's back too. He was
Yeah.
gonna start. He was bodybuilding, and then he was like, I'm gonna go fight again. It's like, all right. So
He's
he's
way
going
out,
back to
yeah.
light heavyweight.
Is he going to Bellator or UFC?
UFC.
UFC. He'll
Yep.
lose a couple fights and go to Bellator.
I don't know if he wins. They'll pay that boy. He's entertaining.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Sure.
Luke Rockhold's back. There's a lot of people trying to get back in it.
Hmm.
UFC's
I
on
would love
fire
to
right
see
now,
it.
man.
I would love to see Francis versus John Jones.
Oh,
It's a
Scary.
dream bout right now.
that's
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John Jones would, like that would look good on the fight card, and then John Jones would just do those annoying shin kicks the whole time.
Foot stomp. Dislocates his knee.
Yeah, hyperextend his knee.
Oh. What is
My
there
dad
talking-
said.
isn't
My
there-
dad said he wants to train and fight.
Hey, you can go in the ring right now. I mean, you did the racing thing. You
Yeah.
jump in the ring in UFC right now.
I never had a dream of being that though.
He had a dream sitting next to the ring girls.
That-
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh well.
Sorry, Mom.
That's
Sorry.
a nightmare.
That's a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah, I got so many stories we can't even get started, and we can't tell half of them.
Yeah. We have
Nice.
a thing when my dad tells a story and we've heard it before. We raise our hand because he's known to tell the same stories over and over again.
I forget who I've told. So you'll like this, Kevin. Our last joke was that the day that I leave this world, they're going to come up the casket and go,
Just raise our hand.
Oh
Heard it all before.
"We heard it all before."
man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Ain't right. It ain't right. So,
Now, guys, the best thing you can do is just, man, and I listened to some of the stuff earlier, just enjoy life, you know.
Mhm.
It's just like with our sports. Nothing more you don't even look for a pat on the back, but nothing more rewarding to watch that kid hit the ball for the first time. Or we had a kid make a play from second base. He fired that ball from behind second to first to get a guy out. And I'm like, these kids, you say 7, 8-year-olds, they've been playing since they was 4. They can play the game now. Basketball, football, whatever. But just live life. That's all I can say.
Right.
Facts.
Are you getting summoned? Should we close it out?
What's that?
Are you getting summoned?
No, it was Ella. We can wrap it up though.
Okay.
But it's a good thing to end on right there.
Okay.
Live life.